Hey, it's Sri here. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through how to rebuild trust in your marriage with your husband. Now, before we dive in, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on that bell notification as well so you get access to all of my latest videos every single week that teach you specifically about how to improve your marriage, how to heal within, and also how to learn more about male psychology as well so you can really understand your husband at the deepest level. Now, in order to address this question of how we can actually rebuild trust in a marriage with your husband, we've got to really understand what's the source of the trust issues. Is it infidelity? Has he been cheating on you? If it's just one time, multiple times, whatever it is, that can be a natural breach of trust because you have this desire to be with him exclusively, and when there's the thought that he has been with someone else, or if it's actually happened, it can bring up these really horrible feelings of rejection and inadequacy and so on. So that can be one source of where the trust issues come from. Other sources of trust issues can often come in the form of where someone's spending their money, what sort of things they're doing in terms of their extracurricular activities, and they're not necessarily sharing those things, because it's really important, especially for women, to have their partner to be able to share everything. It's a very, very important part of a relationship. And sometimes what can happen is with men, they don't want to share everything. They want to sort of keep certain things to themselves. And that can create a whole range of issues and really bring those trust issues to the fore. And so the first thing that we need to be doing is understanding what's the source of the trust issues. Where is it actually coming from? And from there, what you need to be doing is you need to take a step back and actually ask yourself, are these trust issues valid? Now, I'm not here to invalidate anything that you're feeling at this moment in time, but I think we have to gain clarity on what's actually happening. Now, if you have been cheated on one time, multiple times, then obviously in that situation, your trust issues are completely valid because there has been a complete breach of that trust. But what can often happen is, in other instances, let's say you've been dealing with trust issues for a long time in your life. You may have had to deal with it with your parents, you may have had to deal with it with friends or other relatives and so on. The chances are you're going to take those trust issues into a relationship or a marriage. Now, if you take that into a marriage, what's going to happen is that those wounds are going to actually appear even more. And you're going to see things that aren't actually really even there. Now, for example, let's say your husband's at work and you message him and say, "Hey honey, how's it all going? What are you up to?" And he doesn't reply and he takes ages to reply. Now, what can happen is if you're in that place and you're feeling wounded and you've had trust issues in the past, your brain is immediately going to go in that direction of, oh my goodness, why is he taking so long to respond to me? Is he up to something? Is he doing something? And so what that does is it just keeps that emotion running inside of you of, is this man cheating on me? Or why is he not telling me the truth? Or why is it taking him so long to respond? And so on. There can be so many reasons why someone is taking a long time to respond, or that they're busy doing other things and they're giving you short replies. But if you're actually holding on to those wounds, as I mentioned before, then you'll start to see things that aren't actually there and interpret circumstances in a way that exacerbate those wounds that are inside of you as well. So it's really important to actually take a step back and ask yourself, is there actual evidence here to suggest that he's actually breaching my trust? We've got to really clarify that, because otherwise what will happen is you'll end up making the situation worse. And he'll just come back and feel like, look, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not even going and doing anything with anyone else. I'm just really, really busy at the moment at work or whatever it may be. Now, what we have to do then is, if it is valid, if it is a situation where he's been cheating on you multiple times, or if there's been a whole heap of other behaviors, whether it comes to the use of money and so on, that has breached your trust, then you have to ask yourself, am I tolerating too much? Now, I know that's a really tough question to ask yourself because, you love this man, you care for him, you want to be with him, and also you don't want to let go of this situation because you've put so much time and so much emotion and so much energy into the marriage. But it is really important to understand, because if we are dealing with individuals who are notorious for constantly cheating and engaging in those sorts of behaviors, then what that actually does is, firstly, it lowers our sense of self because we're tolerating behaviors that we shouldn't be. And secondly, what it does is it just keeps that pattern of behavior running, because ultimately there are no consequences for it. On some level, he knows that he can just get away with it because there's a level of tolerance to that behavior. Now, I know that might be really hard to hear, but the reason I say these things is because I really want you to elevate your sense of self, to know that you are worthy of love and respect, and know that you're worthy of being treated in a beautiful way by that special someone. That's what you deserve. And hence it's really important to look at this and say, what have I been tolerating throughout this particular marriage? And is it worth putting the time and energy into the marriage in order to rebuild that trust? And so then if it is a case that you've taken some time and looked at the situation and think to yourself, actually, maybe I'm being a little bit unreasonable about some of these trust issues, then what we have to do is look at it and go, what are the fears and the insecurities that are actually coming up inside of me? Is there evidence to suggest that? And if there hasn't been evidence to suggest that, what is it actually triggering inside of me? You know, I know that even in my own life, when it came to relationship problems, it was really important to actually address some of those feelings and the deep fears and the insecurities and the wounds that I was holding on to. Because what that was actually doing for me was it was actually keeping me trapped in relationships that weren't good for me and weren't healthy for me. But once I was actually able to heal some of those deeper wounds from inside, then I was able to recognize that I was worthy enough of having a high quality relationship. And then when you know that you're worthy of that, you then set totally different standards. And you ultimately end up attracting someone who's in a really beautiful place as well. And so very, very important that once you understand and recognize what are the fears and the insecurities that are coming up inside of me, at that point, then what you're actually able to do is heal from within. And then as you heal from within and you feel completely secure and safe on all levels, then you're going to show up totally differently in the marriage. And there are behaviors that may have occurred in the past that won't trigger you so much anymore. And that is a huge part of rebuilding trust, really building that up properly. Now, there is also the additional situation where if you have been cheated on and it's just a one-off, and your husband has acknowledged that that he's sorry and he shouldn't have done it and it's not going to happen again and so on, then what happens is this is about the inner healing from within. So not only is it about setting really good standards with him and telling him and really communicating to him that that sort of behavior is not acceptable and I'm not prepared to tolerate that anymore, but also making sure that those wounds of rejection and abandonment and inadequacy and so on that can come up in these circumstances are also worked through. Now, I appreciate that that often is a really difficult thing to work on and to heal, because, where do you start? What do you actually do in order to address some of those things? And that's the reason why I've got my program called the Authentic Relationship System, which is there to really help you to create that level of healing after infidelity so that you're able to get to a place where you know that either you need to go down this particular path and save your marriage, or you've decided that your standards are much higher now and that you've really developed that sense of worth within yourself and know that that sort of behavior is not acceptable, and you're choosing to go down a different path and really heal from that marriage. And whatever that is, that's what my program is there to help you with. And so if it is something that feels like it's a good fit for you at the moment and you'd like to learn a little bit more about it, then I'd love you to click on that link below in the description section. It just says book a call with me. Just choose a time that works for you and let's just have a conversation just to see if this is a good fit for you. I know that you're in a huge amount of pain, and my heart goes out to you for the circumstances that you're in right now. But I really believe in this approach, and I know it can help to create some incredible healing for you, because I know it's created so much healing for all the beautiful women that have gone through my program as well. So once again, just click on that link below, choose a time that works for you, and I'll contact you at the scheduled time. And just make sure, just in the comment section below, just let me know what your biggest takeaway has been from this video as well. I'll make sure I respond to all of your comments as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit the like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you want to learn why men pull away, just click this video above. And if you want to learn some important signs around why your marriage might be over, just click this video above. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.